am a self-proclaimed daddy's girl. My fondest memories are being along with my dad, and he and I would have these very intimate conversations. And one of my favorite conversations was about my birth mother and the family I left in California. I was raised in Alaska, so when Daddy and I would be along in this truck riding down the street, I'd say, Daddy, tell me about my other family. And he'd say, well, you know, your granddaddy. That man had the funniest name. Yeah, but Daddy, we called him Papa. Yeah, but the real name was Zone Jones. Zone Jones? Who has that kind of name? He said, your granddaddy? And then I'd say, well, Daddy, do I have a grandmother? And he said, well, you know, I never met your grandmother because she died just when I met your mom. I said, how did she die? He said, well, they tell me she was on the way to her daddy's funeral and died on the train. And I said, oh. He said, but that's all right. Your granddaddy married that other lady. You know, Mom Bobby, that's who I know is your grandmother. So I always had this longing within me to know about the family I had left in California. I'd been in Alaska since I was 5 years old. And there was a neighborhood store. And we'd go in there as children after school, and the old man, they ran was an old black man. He'd wear the glasses down on his nose. He'd look over. Don't you children be stealing my candy. I got my eye on you. And he looked like there was one eye that was always going off wandering. And we say, okay, Mr. Dears, we're not going to take your candy. Well, one day, my mama sent me into the store. She said, go up to Mr. Dears and give me a bag of flour. So I was like, oh, this is good. I'm going by myself. I'm a big girl. I go up to Mr. Dears' store, and I'm walking past that candy, you know, because I didn't have no candy money. I had flour money. But I'm walking by, and I get to the end of the counter. Mr. Dears, girl, come here, girl, come here. I'm like, okay, Mr. Dears, I wasn't going to steal any of your candy. And he said, who your people? What kind of question is that? Girl, answer the question, who your people? And I said, well, Mr. Dears, my daddy's name is L.Z. Davis. No, I ain't talking about your daddy. Who your people? Girl, you don't know who you are? And I said, well, yeah, I know who I am. I'm Judy-Ann Davis. Girl, you don't know nothing. Okay, Mr. Dears, because Mama told us don't ever be disrespectful to no adults. So I stood there, Mr. Dears said, girl, who your granddaddy them? Granddaddy them? Who is your grandfather? I said, oh. I started laughing. He said, what's so funny? I said, Papa's real name is Zone Jones. I knew it. I knew it. Mr. Dears came from behind that counter looking at me. Girl, I knew who you was when you came down that aisle. I'm thinking, okay, Mr. Dears, okay. He said, I knew it. You one of them Moors. I said, my granddaddy's name is Zone Jones. Now, I ain't got no attitude about this, because Mr. Dears is kind of out of line by now. So my granddaddy's name is Zone. Girl, you is a Moor. A Moor. M-O-O-R-E. I said, well, what is a Moor? He said, look, that's what your great-granddaddy's name is. That's what your grandmother's name is. Your great-granddaddy's name was Reverend Guy Moore. Reverend? Yeah, he's a minister. I said, oh, Reverend, yeah, okay. I said, are you sure, Mr. Dears, you know? He said, look, what you know about your grandmother? I said, I don't know. I said, you know, yep, you're right. She died before you were born. He said, good, I was there when they got married. Now I'm really paying attention. He said, I'm going to tell you something. Your grandmother died on the train going to Louisiana from California. Now he has my attention. And I'm thinking, how does Mr. Dears know this? So I'm easing back. And then he started telling me about the Moors. He said, look, your grandmother's name was Ethel Moore. Your great-grandfather named will recognize for all your good. Girl, you come from some good folks. And I said, Mr. This, how do you know this? He said, because we lived in the same community. They didn't have neighborhoods. They had little townships. He went on to tell me, he said, your great-grandfather, you know the Moors, he gave the land, they put the church on that, the land that your great-grandfather had. He had a bunch, he won the landowners back then. And I said, really, Mr. Thiers? And for the next 30 minutes, Mr. Thiers told me all these things about my family. And then he dropped the love. He said, girl, don't you ever forget, you come from good stock. Good stock? Yes. Your people was somebody, they was educators, landowners, entrepreneurs. They owned everything around there. They gave the land for the church. Your family even had their own cemetery. And I said, really? And I was just filled up. And he said, you walk proud. You look like the Moors. I saw it when you came through this store. By yourself. And I thought, okay, Mr. Thiers. And I went home. I was standing in the little tower. And I didn't have anybody I could share this with. I was cruising around like, I've got a secret. I know who I am. And I hung on to those memories forever and ever. And I never even told my daddy what Mr. Thiers said. And then it was 20 years later. I'd grown up, I was an adult and in my 30s. And I had reconnected with my birth family in California. And they invited me to a family reunion in Shreveport, Louisiana. I was so glad to go down there and meet all these kin folks. I'd never been to a family reunion. So honey, you know I had my son the best on. And they were talking about, well, we're gonna have t-shirts. And I'm thinking, I don't want no t-shirt. I want to look Alaska fine when I go down to Shreveport, Louisiana. But then I got out here and everybody had a t-shirt on that said, Moore Bailey Family Reunion. I couldn't wait to put on one of those t-shirts. Now, I started meeting some of my great-grandmother's sisters. Reverend Guy Moore had 12 children, and there was about 4 or 5 of them still left living. There was Aunt Laura, and Aunt B. Oh, there were a whole bunch of them Moors living. And Aunt Laura said, girl, you look just like your grandmother Ethel. I said, yes, ma'am. I was thinking, how did I look like my grandmother Ethel? Because I was looking at Aunt Laura, and she wasn't that cute. But I didn't say nothing. Aunt Laura, Uncle Will, and Uncle Webb, Uncle Marshall, they were all tall people and very slender. She said, yeah, you look just like your grandmother Ethel. She was the thickest one out of the bunch. Maybe I do look like her after all. So we sat down to dinner, and they were asking me, what was it like growing up with your daddy in Alaska? And I said, well, my daddy and my stepmom, they raised me really well. I've gone out into the world. I've done good things with myself. And then I said, well, tell me about my grandmother. And then I remembered. I said, tell me, is this true? And they said, well, what? I said, I met a man that owned a store in Alaska by the name of Mr. Jim Thiers. Jim, one of them Thiers boys, we know them. They from around the way. He in Alaska? I said, he was. He died recently. What'd he tell you? He told me that my grandmother died on the train trip from California to Louisiana. And they had a double funeral. And people came from miles around because they hadn't seen one of those. They said, that's right. He went on to tell me that my great-grandfather had all this land. That's right. And all the things that Mr. Jim Thiers had told me about my family were true. What Mr. Jim Thiers didn't tell me was that my great-grandfather, Reverend Guy Moore, had accumulated all of this land at the beginning of the 1900s. We don't know how he achieved it, how he acquired it, but he hung on to that land, and it was passed on to his 12 children, and then it was passed on to his great-grandchildren, And that land of Reverend Guy Moore's is still in the Moore family today. And we have timber on that land. And after my birth mother died, and all of her sisters died, the next generation, my generation, we inherited the timber rights. And to this day, every 15 years, they harvest the timber on that land. And I always thank my great-grandfather and say, thank you, Reverend God, for instilling the spirit of entrepreneurship, education, and progression. I hope you're proud of all that I have done. And I encourage you, if you do not know your ancestral tree, do some research. It's there. To know who you come from gives you a little pep.